Hey everyone, my name is Oge O and I am a doctor training to become a board certified dermatologist, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about different mineral sunscreens. So I have been on the hunt for a good mineral sunscreen for years now. I think it's been really difficult to find a mineral sunscreen that doesn't leave a white cast on my skin, especially since I am a darker complexion. And just recently, I've started to see more tinted sunscreens, and more brands are trying to address this problem and create products that will work for people with my skin complexion. So I had a few different sunscreens. Some of them I got for free at various conferences, and then some of them I bought with my own money at the recommendation of other dermatologists. And I just wanted to give them a try and see which ones actually don't leave a white cast and which ones were not worth it. And so one of the reasons that I'm looking for a good mineral sunscreen is because whenever I go out running or whenever I'm outside and I start to sweat, a lot of times the chemical sunscreens, when they get around my eyes, they cause a lot of irritation. So on a daily basis, I do like using a sunscreen that is chemical or has more chemical compounds in them, but whenever I'm exercising or sweating, I prefer a mineral sunscreen to avoid that problem. And so I have a few different mineral sunscreens that I tried out. I do have some that I really liked, and then some that were on the kind of side. So I do have some notes here so I don't forget anything. So I'll say my overall favorite was the Cerave Deep Sheer Tint. I think it blended really well when it applied, and even when I put on way too much, it still blended in very nicely. I just had to wipe off some of the excess oil, but still I didn't see a white cast once I blended it in. And I think also this one edged out a lot of the other ones because it's very affordable. So it is $14 for 1.7 ounces. And then it has hydrating ingredients, so it's a really great sunscreen for if you live in colder weather or if you do have dry skin, which I tend to get dry skin around my nose, my chin area, my forehead. And so especially since I don't wear foundation regularly, I do like a sunscreen that gives me more of a dewy, hydrated appearance rather than a mattifying appearance. And so that's why I really like this sunscreen, and it came in as my number one. Also, it does have ranges of different tints, so it has a light, medium, and a deep. One con for this sunscreen is that I could only find the deep tint on Amazon, so I couldn't find it in any retail stores or like physical retail stores, and so that's one con against it. I was only able to find it in one place. And I think that it is a newer sunscreen, so hopefully as time goes on, it'll be available in more places. But that really was the only con that I had for it. It went on really nicely, great price point. That's probably going to be the mineral sunscreen that I continue using whenever I go out and exercise. So yeah, number one sunscreen, really great. That was a really great recommendation. So my second favorite was the Isdin sunscreen, and so I really liked how this one applied, and overall it didn't leave a white cast. It only was when I kind of globbed on excess amounts that it left a white cast, which is understandable. It also applied really beautifully, and it also gave more a mattifying look, which wasn't bad. And I think definitely in the summertime I would lean more towards that one over the Cerave, so for the mattifying look, because I tend to just sweat more in the summertime, but overall, I did really like it. The only thing that kind of played against it was the price. So it usually retails for $50 for 1.7 fluid ounces, so over 3 times more expensive than the Cerave for the same amount of product. I did get mine on sale for $35, so they do sales. I think I did like the Black Friday sale. I think two other cons for it. So one, it did have a slight baby powder smell when I first used it, and it didn't linger, but I don't know, I wasn't a fan of the smell. And then I think the next thing is that it just only has zinc oxide, but not titanium dioxide. While zinc oxide is good protection against both UVB and UVA, titanium dioxide can provide supplemental protection against UVB. I would have liked a mix just to get better overall protection. So the next sunscreen that I liked was the Tizo Primer Sunscreen. So that one felt the nicest going on. It almost had a silky feel, a very luxurious feel to it. And then it did really well in small amounts, but it did leave a white cast at higher quantities. And then it definitely was more of a mattifying sunscreen, so that would also be one that would wear over the summer instead of in the winter. And then if you wore foundation often, that definitely would be a really great sunscreen to use because it did have that kind of primer feel where I felt like it almost kind of, you know, blurred everything and would be a really nice base for foundation or concealer. And so things that I didn't like about it was that it was pricier. It was $45 for 1.75 fluid ounces, and so it is on the pricier side. So again, it is more than three times more expensive than the Cerave. And kind of like the Isdin, the thing that it has over the Cerave is that it's more mattifying, and it would be great for summer or wearing underneath foundation. So fourth place for me would be the Neutrogena Mineral UV Tint. So this one didn't leave a white cast at smaller amounts. It did leave more of a white cast at larger amounts, but it does come in different shades as well, and which is really great. So if you can kind of find the shade that works best for your skin tone. Also, one thing I didn't really like about it was that it was very messy. As I was pouring it out, it easily like started dripping down the container and just was getting very messy. One thing that did play in its favor is that it's $16 for 1.1 fluid ounces. So it is smaller than some of the other, I think it is the smallest sunscreen that I used. So $16, so definitely in that affordable range, which is really great. I just didn't like that it was messy, and the other sunscreens I think just performed a little bit better than it. So fifth place for sunscreens for me was the Eucerin. So again, left a bit of a white cast even at smaller amounts, which I didn't love. Things that worked well for it was that it is $16 for 1.7 fluid ounces. So again, in that same price range as Cerave, very affordable, which is really great, especially since if you're wearing your sunscreen every single day and reapplying, then you're gonna run through sunscreen pretty quickly. So it's really great that you can get an affordable sunscreen that also works for you. And so Eucerin is definitely on the more mattifying side. So if you are looking for something for the summertime and something affordable, the Eucerin could be a very good option, with the caveat that it probably is going to leave a little bit of a white cast. So these last two sunscreens, I don't know if necessarily they deserve to be on the bottom because I was not using the most updated formula and the correct tint for myself. So for the Anthelios La Roche Posay Tinted Mineral, I use the medium, but they do have a medium deep and a deep shade, and those two shades probably would have been better for me. So I don't know if the white cast was because I wasn't using the correct shade, or if I still would get that white cast even if I were to use the correct shade. Also retails for a little bit more than Cerave. It's more in the mid-range price, so it's $30 for 1.7 fluid ounces. And then the other one, the Elta MD, that one, I was using the Elta MD UV Elements, and that's the old formula. The new formula is the UV AOX Elements, and that one retails for $45. So again, I'm not sure, maybe the new formula wouldn't have left as much as a white cast. And then both of these were on the mattifying side, so would be better for summer use. Because I like the Cerave so much and it's cheaper than both of them, I don't think I would try these other two in the different formula or the different tint. I just wanted to put that caveat out there that they technically might not have been deserved to be at the bottom, but based off of the ones that I have, they were at the bottom. So hopefully that was helpful for anybody who's been on the hunt for a tinted mineral sunscreen, especially somebody who might be a darker shade or similar to my complexion and just wanted to know what sunscreens might work for them, or even just what sunscreens are out there. One honorable mention I did want to put out was 11 by Venus Williams. I don't think it's made anymore, but that was actually the first mineral sunscreen that I used. I think it left like maybe a slight white cast, but I really loved that formulation when it was being made. But yeah, honestly, I tell people whenever patients ask me, oh, what sunscreen should I use? Honestly, the sunscreen you should use is the one that you're going to actually put on every single day. So whether that be a mineral sunscreen, whether that be a chemical sunscreen, whether that be a high-end sunscreen, a cheaper sunscreen, as long as you're going to wear it every single day and you like how it looks, then that's the sunscreen for you. But yeah, hopefully this has been helpful. Until next time, bye you all.